Everyone, welcome to Small Farm Living. So today we are going to be talking about the information on the back of the seed packets. We are going to be going over all of the things on the back to help you understand what they are and what that means for successful seed starting. So I thought I would come outside, the lighting is a little better out here, and show you we have 5 different seed packets, all from different companies, and every single one of these companies puts similar information on the back of their packets, but they're not all exactly the same. So first up, I'm going to show you these Snapdragons that I got from Baker Creek. And on the back here, you will see up at the top here, they have sprouts in, and it says 7 to 14 days. So from the time you plant your seed to the time you should first see the first signs of life, it should be between 7 and 14 days. Now the ideal temperature says 65 to 90 degrees. Now if you are starting inside in a grow room, that's pretty easy to do in a house. But if you are direct sowing outside, you need to make sure that the temperatures are within this range for the best germination success. For seed depth, surface sow. So that means you're going to lay the seed right on top of the surface of your soilless mix and you're not going to cover it. For spacing, they say 6 to 12 inches apart. Now this is for when it's out in a field. When you are starting from seed, you can just put 1 or 2 in each little cell tray that you're doing. Is it frost hardy? That means no. So if there is a killing frost, it's going to die. And minimum full sun, they need at least 8 to 12 hours of sun to grow properly. Now over here on the section where they have it in writing, it says 110 days. So what that 110 days means is from the time you plant that tiny little seed until the time you get the beautiful flowers that you're looking for, which in this case are these Rembrandt Snapdragons, it should be about 110 days. Now, of course, this is going to vary depending on your soil conditions, the amount of water and the amount of sun they get, but this is the average for you. Now, they do give you written out planting instructions if you're sowing indoors 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost. So if you are unsure what your last frost date is, simply go on to Google and type in when is the last frost date for, and then put in your city and your state, and it will tell you when your estimated last frost date is. So for me, it is May 15th, and if I want to plant my seeds 10 weeks before that last frost date, that would make March 6th being my plant date. You can also type into Google if my last frost date is, and then whatever it gives you for your frost date, then when would I need to plant my seeds to plant them 10 weeks before that date. And it'll tell you exactly the date you need to do. All right, and real quickly, I'll just kind of show you here. This is Botanical Interests Snapdragon packet. I love the drawings they have on the front here. And I do have an affiliate link down in the description if you're interested in buying seeds from them. It does help out our channel. But on the front, they also give you a little bit of information. Now this says perennial, but perennial on the back, I will show you here real quick. They specifically state that it is for areas zone 5 and warmer. So it's an annual in some and a perennial in others, but they give you some information on the front that it blooms heaviest in the cooler weather. And then it gives you a little more information about the flower spikes and makes a good cut flower. On the back here, they have their information here, when to plant outside 4 to 6 weeks before the average last frost, when to start inside, and they have special germination instructions that light aids germination, so you press them just into the surface of the soil, and also freezing seeds for 48 hours prior to sowing can also help germination. That's for what they call stratification. It just makes them feel like they've gone through a winter, even if they haven't. By putting them in the freezer, that just kind of mocks winter. Now this is self-wrapping cauliflower, and on the back here, same type of information, but see it says days to harvest on here, and it's the same as days to maturity. It just lets you know it's going to take at least 60 to 70 days, which is 2 to 2.5 months before you see a head of cauliflower form. And most all of the seed packs, again, like I said, have the basic information on them, but those are what the things mean. So days to germination just means that from the time you plant the seed to the time you see the first signs of life coming out of that seed. Depth is how deep you want to plant that seed into your mix or out in the soil in the garden. Spacing is how far you plant them apart in order for the plants to have optimal growth. And again, they usually put this on here for outside conditions, not for starting them inside in little seed trays. Days to harvest is from when they germinate all the way up into the day they actually produce the product, either the cut flower you're trying to harvest or the vegetable. Another another tip for you is if the information that you're looking for is not on the back of the seed packet, you can always Google it. That is the most awesome thing about Google these days, is you can pretty much find any information you need on seed starting. So that's just a brief overview on how to read the back of seed packets. In the next video, I am going to go over some key points that are really important for having good success when you're starting from seed, and especially if you're starting indoors. So make sure you're subscribed for that. We're going to go take a look at my seedlings that I have planted. I planted those last week in the last video. I am going to show you from when I first put them down in the grow room, and at the very end I'll give you a peek at how much they have grown just in a couple of days. So just a quick overcap, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, this is actually a display shelf that when my daughter several years ago worked at Lowe's in the garden center, they would use these for plant displays. When they were done, it was too expensive for the plant companies to come back and pick them up, so they would tell them to trash them, and then they would just give them away for free. So I ended up with several of these. They work perfect for seed starting. I have shop lights. I have two, one in the front, one in the back. I have that on each of the 3 levels, and they are adjustable. So as I put my new plants in here and they're young, I get the lights right down close to the plant, and as they start growing, I can slowly lift them up. We are going to be putting our first set of seeds on here, so I need to get these lights plugged in. So we have those working. And let me show you this real quick. So I have this little timer, and I will put an Amazon affiliate link down in the description if you're interested in getting one of these. But if you plug it into the wall, and then this plug right here, they have one on each side. This goes to my electrical extension cord down here. And these are all low voltage, so I'm not really worried about a fire risk. So that plugs into there. But then I will plug this into the wall, and what you do is when you plug it in, you push the little tabs down for the current time, and then you put what time, based on if the tabs are up or down, is dependent on how long your timer is set. So I will just set this to come on at about 5:30 in the morning, and I will set it to go off at about 9 o'clock at night. So I got it plugged in. I don't know if I quit talking, you can hear the timer working. Kind of has a little bit of a rattle to it, so it's not completely silent, but it lets you know it's working. I do not need the lights on the upper shelf right now or the very bottom shelf, so I'm going to get those unplugged, so we just have the shelf for the seedlings that we're putting in here today. All right, I've got my seedlings. I'm going to bring those down here. And I'm going to take this off now because they need to have some ventilation. I'm taking this off now because they need to have ventilation. You can see how, I'll bring you up closer, how high up they are already. I need to drop these down though because I want the light to just be within an inch of my seedling, and that builds strong, sturdy stems. So I want you to see just how close my lights are to my seedlings. There's not a whole lot of space there, but you can see the seedlings in there, how tall they are. And again, this will just make sure that my seedlings have nice, sturdy stems. They don't get long and leggy. And this side over here is raised up just slightly a bit more because the onions have not germinated yet, and I want to be able to keep a better eye on them. Once this side has grown a little bit more, I will lift this up one more notch and just continue to raise it up as they continue to grow. All right, you guys, take a look at this. I already lifted the lights up a little bit from where they were last time because you can see the little cotyledons, which are what they look like leaves, but they're not the true leaves. They're just what emerges from inside of the seed. And they are already nice and happy and tall and perky. So we're just going to let these babies keep growing. I will give you updates on them each week. I have the onions still over here. They have not germinated yet, but they should be soon. So maybe by next video, you'll be able to see that. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time.